Hi all, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Hi, sir. Good morning.
So my screen is visible, no?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Let's just start. So before proceeding, any questions you have? Anything you want to discuss? Anyone? Okay, if no, let's start. Okay. Yeah, so now moving to transformation. Okay. So in ETL, EX stands for extraction, T stands for transformation, and L is loading. Okay. Can you tell me which layer is more important? Just I want to understand your thought.
Integration layer.
Okay. Integration. Anyone else?
Integration and access layer. In integration only we are applying the developer applying the transformation rules, business rules.
Correct. Okay. Then apart from that, anyone else? Which layer is more or most important? Anyone else? Okay. Okay. So I think Sandeep has mentioned that integration layer is the most important. Okay. What I'm presenting a scenario. Okay. In integration layer, you are correct. We are applying the business logics, the transformation logics, all the formula. Okay, that's correct. We are applying all those things in integration logic. That's correct. But what if the data what you have received from source is duplicate? Okay, the data which you have received from source is duplicate because of any reason. I am not going into that. Okay. And you have done the testing and that has been missed. So that data has moved from source file to integration layer. And then you have applied the formula. Formula is perfect, correct formula. Everything is correct. Now tell me the number which you will get on report. That will be correct number or incorrect number?
Incorrect.
Incorrect number. But you applied the right formula, no, in integration layer. Then why the numbers are incorrect on report?
Duplication.
Because there is duplication, because the data what you have received is duplicate. Correct? Okay, you have a Ferrari. Okay, you have a Ferrari, but you don't know how to drive, or you don't have that petrol or diesel or whatever it may be. Is that of any use? It's of no use.
Yeah,
And
yes.
unless you don't have the driving skill, until and unless you have those fuel, then it's of no use. It's just like a standing toy for you. So from testing perspective, or maybe from development perspective, each and every layer of ETL must be as per the expectation. Okay, because every layer is linked. If you miss one layer, if you miss some scenario, so ultimately the data what you want to see on report at the final layer will be incorrect. But this doesn't happens mostly on UI. If you're working on UI layer, interface layer. No, so sometime like maybe some functionalities will work perfectly, some will not work perfectly. But here, if you're missing at any layer at any stage, the numbers which will be coming on report will be incorrect, and you will get a production issue, and that is a negative remark for the entire team, not on tester, not on developer, not on business analyst, but for the entire team. So what I want to tell you, I do understand transformation layer is the main engine, Most of the logics are applied in transformation layer. First of all, make this clear. All the formula, all the validations you have to perform in transformation layer. That is correct. But it is of use only when you have good quality of data coming from source. If you have not done the correct validation at the source layer, the data is not correct. Data is of bad quality. There is a duplicate data. The business values are missing in data. Okay. So your transformation cannot do anything. Hope that is clear. So that is why each and every layer, they have their own significance. You cannot leave a layer. Okay, let's not do testing in file the source layer, because as per my experience and interaction with the with my fellow testers, I've observed that they used to neglect the validation in the source, and that's when nowadays you will get question that do you know end-to-end testing, or are you involved only in integration layer testing, or are you involved only in report testing? Those who are working in live project now, so maybe they will realize it that in your team, if you have multiple testers, so you will be having segregation that okay, Mr. A will do report testing, Mr. B will do integration testing, all those things. But now the scenario has changed. Like they are looking for full stack developers. Similarly, they are looking for end-to-end tester. So that's why you should know end-to-end data flow. You should know end-to-end where all you have to perform the calculations. Okay. So we have discussed almost 1.5 weeks on extraction part, and you guys have asked really good questions about duplicate files, how to handle. If you have multiple file, how we will handle. We have discussed about full load, truncate load, incremental load, historical load, current load. Okay. These all were the very important and the key concepts of ETL, not only from testing, but that's a flow of entire ETL project. Okay, hope that was clear. But still, if you have any question on any layer, please go and ask the questions. Okay, don't stop, don't feature. Now I'm moving to the next layer of ETL, transform or transformation layer. This is the main engine layer. All the logics, I will not tell all the logics, most of the logics are applied in this transformation layer, not all the logics, because some of the logics are applied in staging as well. Some of the logics are applied in access layer. Some of the logics are applied even at OBI layer. So don't think that in transformation all the logics will be applied and other layers we're not applying any logic. No, that depends. Fine. So the first thing is in the staging area, the raw data undergoes data processing. Fine. See, now try to understand, guys. Okay, try to understand the things. A very important concept, because now we are moving into the technical aspect of this, and you should be clear. So, in a staging area, just a minute, I'm trying to, yeah, fine. My screen is visible now. I do understand this font color is not good. Maybe this will not be visible properly, but you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
In a staging area, okay, so the flow is like, first of all, you have received source files, right? First step. After that, what you will do? Validate the source file. We have discussed, I think, close to 10 test cases that what all things you have to validate, right? File, number of source file, file format, the naming convention, header, trailer, count, duplicate file, multiple file validation, archive file validation, delete file validation. These all things you have validated. You have received the source file. You have validated that the source file, the format, everything is correct. After that, what we will do? Guys, those not speaking, please go on with. After this, what you will do? You validated the source files, everything is correct. What you will do after this?
Run the job and load the data into staging
Run the
job.
stage job to load data in a staging table or layer, right? So then you will load data in a staging table or layer. Now coming to a staging layer, are we applying any checks, any rules in a staging layer or not? See, I am not expecting correct answer. I am expecting your thoughts. Okay, so please share your thoughts, whatever it is there in your mind. Okay.
Check for duplicate.
Yeah, in a staging layer, do you have any logic? Yeah, please tell me.
Check for the duplicate.
Duplicate check, I think you told. Okay. Basic transformation logics at a stage. Okay. The first of all is logic of duplicates. There's a logic of deduplication. I will tell you what's the difference between duplicates and deduplication. Of course. Deduplication. Basic functional checks. So these are the few basic data cleaning activity. Okay, I will not tell that this is the transformation logics actually. Okay, let me basic data cleaning activity. But in some of the projects I have heard, they are telling this as a transformation logic, but I don't want to do debate on that. Okay, if you want to tell this is a transformation logic, you can tell this is a transformation logic. But generally, if you will Google, no, so this comes under the bucket of data cleaning activity. Okay, these three are data cleaning activity, and I have mentioned only three because generally these three activity are performed at a stage layer. There might be some other as well. Okay, but these three are there. So if someone is asking you that Mr. ABC, are you applying any logic or any other activity at a stage layer, or you have just dumped the data from source at a stage and from a stage you're moving to integration? So what will be your answer, guys?
We'll perform basic data cleaning activity at stage.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you should not tell that transformation is applied at the transformation layer, that is integration layer. So we are not doing anything at the stage layer. Okay, don't tell this that no, I am not doing anything in a stage layer. The stage layer is just the dumping layer. So I'm just dumping the data. I'm not bothered that if it's a duplicate or the basic functional checks are missing or the cost column is missing, profit column is missing, mandatory columns is missing. I'm not bothered about that. All these things will be taken care in transformation layer. Is it this? No. Correct. So we are applying basic data cleaning activity at a stage. Okay. Now, these are the basic data cleaning activity. We will look into this, that what actually we are doing here. But before that, I have a question, guys. Okay. Why we are doing all this data cleaning activity at a stage? We can do like, no, we have dumped the data at a stage and then let's move it to the integration layer, keep it in integration layer, then apply these logics and then apply the formula. But why I'm doing all these things in a stage? Why I'm cleaning the data at a stage? Who will answer? Come on, guys. Yeah. Very simple question. Whatever is there in your mind, share. Why I want to apply this data cleaning activity at a stage layer? What is the need?
To eliminate the bad
I
data.
think we are applying the transformation rules on the filtered data.
Perfect.
I want to
perfect,
apply.
perfect. You know who is this? Sandeep or Sunil?
Yeah, me, Sandeep.
Sandeep. Okay. Perfect answer. But guys, whenever I'm asking any question, so share your thoughts. I'm not expecting correct answer. I just wanted to understand your thought. So from those thoughts, now it helps me to understand that what is your level or to what level you have understood. Okay. So share your thoughts always. That's a perfect answer. What Sunil has told that I want to apply the transformation logic on the filtered or the final data or the creamy layer data or the good data. Correct? I want to apply these things on the good quality of data. Suppose you went to a mall, okay, and you bought some vegetables or maybe uh, fish or whatever it may be. You bought it, okay. You bought it. You came to your house. After that, immediately you will start cooking. You will keep that in utensil, or you will add what oil, and then you will start cooking, or you will do something before that.
Wash.
You will wash it.
Segregation
Perfect.
happen.
And you will segregate that as well, and you will wash it. That's the most important thing, right? You will wash the vegetable, no? You'll wash the vegetable, okay, and then you will cut it. Maybe you can change the sequence. You will cut it first, then wash it. That depends, okay. But you will do these activities, no? Okay, it's not like I don't think that anyone will take the vegetable and directly you will keep it in a utensil, and then you will start cooking and you will add oil and everything. No, first of all, you will wash it and then you will cut it, right? And then you will apply your transformation logic. Transformation logic means adding oil, right? Adding salt, adding all this other things, maybe whatever it may be, like turmeric or whatever is this. Okay. You will add all those things. So this is your transformation logic, guys, right? Fine, perfect. So I was asking, so is it, do you like, means you prefer this one that you will remove this? Okay, let's not wash it. Yeah, daily we are washing. It's wasting time. We will start applying a transformation logic. No, we'll never do like this, right? So that's why these are the basic sanity. You are cleaning your vegetable, but maybe for hygienic purpose and all those things. Similarly, these are the basic cleaning activity performed at stage layer. Hope this is clear now. Duplicate records. I think this is simple, and we have discussed this yesterday as well. That if by mistake the source team has sent duplicate records mean the same record is coming again. Okay, so that should be removed because I'm mentioning it again. Source system has got all the license to commit mistake. But if something goes wrong in production layer, and then you are telling the business is sending you a mail that, okay, this report is not working perfectly. Okay, the numbers are not correct. And your team has done the analysis, and then you told to business that sir, this happens because source team has sent us the incorrect data. We are not responsible. Now tell me, who will get a bad remark here? You or the source team?
Whole team.
Testers.
Testers. Okay.
We will get the bad remark.
Okay. I went to mall, maybe Reliance Trends or somewhere else, Big Bazaar. I bought vegetable. I bought potatoes. Okay. When I came to house, the potato, it was not of good quality. Okay. Then I went to Big Bazaar and I told them that what kind of vegetables you're selling. Potato is not of good quality. So rotten potato you have given. Then he checked at the backend team, and then he told that sorry, then he told me, sorry sir, we cannot do anything because this same potato we have bought from the farmers and they have given us. Okay. Now think from your perspective. Who is responsible? The big bazaar guys are responsible or the farmers are responsible? From your perspective, I'm asking.
Big Bazaar only.
Big Bazaar.
Big bazaar is a front end player for you, right? Right? You trust on Big Bazaar.
Yeah.
Then only you went there and you thought that you was under the impression that they will give you good vegetables. You will tell them that boss, I am not bothered that from which farmer you are buying. I came here on your trust. I don't want to know from which farmer you put it. I don't want to bother about all those things. Right? So similarly, the business users, even if he is not telling, so your team will be on bad remark. He will think that from what source you are taking data and all those things. Yeah, I am not bothered. I have told you that I want this report. That report should be of good quality. If the source team is not sending good data, you should apply those checks. You should test it. Why you have allowed the duplicate data to enter your database? Right? This kind of questions he can tell, no? So that is why this checks, duplicate checks, you have to apply at the very beginning, that is the stage layer. Okay, even by mistake, the source team has sent this. You should test this. And I think we have discussed about this, right? Any question on this duplicate part? Fine. Now, what is deduplication? What is deduplication? See, what is deduplication? Let's try to understand this. This is common interview question from ETL perspective. They will ask you, okay, tell me the deduplication logic. Tell me SCD's logic. Tell me soft delete logic. Okay, and all those things. So deduplication is one of that. What is deduplication? Try to understand. Sometime what happened? I have mentioned you have a restaurant as Delhi. Okay, you have a restaurant as Delhi. Raghu was the manager. You guys remember it? Raghu was the manager. Now we have one more manager, Swati. Okay, Swati, I have hired Swati as well as a manager, and I've told both the managers to send me the same data. They both have to send the same data by end of day. You might be thinking that already we have Raghu as a manager, then why we have hired Swati as a manager, right? Correct? It happened in business. No, sometimes you have to get data from multiple sources. I will tell you why. This may be like I have to jump into that financial world. There are accounting applications. Okay, there are different accounting applications. They used to do some accounting for you. Okay, so you want, or maybe you can understand that's like a rating system. Okay, so if you're getting rating from one source, so if you're getting rating from 4 to 5 sources and they all have rated you at a very good position, that will give you a good remark, right? So similarly, in accounting application, what happens? You want that our accounting should be taken care by multiple sources. So they will give you a more transparent picture. And if someone is committing mistake, the other one will give you a more correct picture. So that happens in critical business applications. Okay, so that's why they used to hire multiple managers or multiple accounting application. And they will tell them that, okay, you both have to do the same task. Fine. So Raghu is a manager and Swati is also a manager. I have had 2 managers now because the system has matured and a lot of critical transactions are happening on a daily basis. Okay. So the same task, don't think that I am dividing the task between Raghu and Swati. No, sorry. So same task I given to Raghu and same task I given to Swati. They both have to send the transaction details by end of day. Okay, is this scenario clear? They both have to send the transaction details by end of day. Raghu has created a file. He has sent me that. Swati also has created a file and he has sent me that. Okay. Now from Delhi restaurant, how many files I have now?
2.
2 source files. Correct? Now the data in both the source files will be duplicate or not.
Duplicate.
You all think it will be duplicate?
Yes, it should be.
No, there is one more scenario. Think over that. There is one more scenario. Please think over that. If they both, if I am under the impression that they both will give the same duplicate data, then why I will hire Swati? No need, right? See, Raghu was sending me the transaction data. Okay. But why I have hired Swati is maybe if some transaction details are missed by Raghu, so maybe Swati will cover that. Maybe, I'm not sure, but maybe Swati will cover that. Or maybe if some transaction has been missed by Swati, so Raghu will cover that because now the business has grown. A lot of transactions are happening. And maybe I have observed in past that Raghu has missed few transactions, but still he's a good manager. And I do understand because of human tendency, it happens. That's why I thought that, okay, I will keep Raghu and then I will hire Swati as well. And they both will do the transaction. So it means if Raghu has sent me support transaction 1, 2, 3, and for a particular day, Swati has sent me transaction 2, 3, 4. Is this a duplicate record?
No.
No, this is not exactly duplicate, right? Now, if I'm loading this in database, so my final data should be what?
What it
1,
is?
2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3.
3, 4.
Oh, perfect. Well done, guys. I think you understood now. So I have to, first of all, avoid duplicates. So here 2, 3 was duplicate. So I have avoided that as well. But I have taken all the distinct records from the two systems, from the two managers, right? So this is known as deduplication. It means out of these two, you have to pick anyone which is unique and then other distinct transactions as well. Is it clear?
Yeah, clear.
Okay. Now there's one more flavor in duplicates, deduplication. Okay, first of all, any question on this?
Can you explain it once?
So okay, okay, fine. I will repeat it. I'm talking about deduplication. What is deduplication? Okay. And this is different from duplicate. Duplicate means exact duplicate record. Suppose here, if Swati would have sent me 1, 2, 3, then I will tell, okay, this is exact duplicate. This is not a duplicate. But now we are talking about deduplication. What is deduplication? Now I have hired Swati. And the task which I have assigned to Swati is exactly same what Raghu was doing. But I just wanted to confirm that if Raghu has missed something, Swati will manage that. You know, like it happens when you have given 10th or 12th standard examination. So I'm not sure if you know or not, your paper is evaluated by 2 to 3 evaluators. You know this, right?
Yes.
And they will average it and then they will give you the final mark. Suppose the first evaluator has given you 60 and second one has given 70. So they will give you 65 marks. It happens in our college as well, right? Why they hire 2 evaluators? Why the same paper is getting evaluated by two evaluators? What is the reason?
If one has missed something, the other can update it.
They trust the first one as well, right? But maybe the marking scheme what he is following, maybe he is a very strict, right? So that's why they hire another one as well. So and then finally they will take the average of both the evaluators. So similarly, I have had Swati as well here. So maybe if Raghu has missed something, maybe she will cover up. Fine. So this is known as deduplication. Now for a particular day, Raghu has sent me transaction as 1, 2, 3. Swati has sent us 2, 3, 4. So I'm telling my final data will be, which will be loaded in a stage. Okay, final data means I'm telling in a stage layer which I will load will be 1, 2, 3, 4. I have removed 2 here from 2 and 3 was duplicate, right? 2 and 3 was present here and here as well. So first of all, I have removed this 2 and 3, and then I've taken only 1, 2, and 3. Then 1 was present here, 4 is present here. So final data in stage will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Why this is known as deduplication? Because you're getting the same source data from two sources. So that data you will remove because that duplicate is there. That is why this is known as deduplication. Is it clear now?
Yes.
Yeah, is nothing but duplicate plus unique records.
Perfect. Yeah, very good. I think you have explained better than me. Removing duplicates plus keeping unique record. Perfect. Perfect. Now, I'm twisting it. On a particular day, Raghu has sent 3 transactions. Swati also has sent 3 transactions. So what will be final data?
1, 2, 3.
2, 3.
Final data. Guys, if I'm writing final data, so it means I'm talking about a stage. I'm not talking about integration or access layer. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Now
Three.
tell me, this 1, 2, 3 you have picked from which file? Raghu's file or Swati file?
So we compare those both the datas and we
Wait just a minute, guys. 1 came from Raghu here. I will mark it as R. And 2 came from, suppose Raghu here, mark it as R. Here 3 came from Swati, mark it as S. 4 came from Swati, mark it as S. Okay. So I have to mention sources as well. Why? Because if there is some mistake in one record, so I will catch Raghu, that Raghu you have sent this data, that was a mistake, right? And this happens. You have to mention the sources from which source, which data you are taking. Okay. Because at later point of time, if there is some mistake in this 2 and 3 records or 3 or 4, I can connect with Swati and I can tell Swati that Swati, there was some problem in this. And if I'm not mentioning source here, so I will not be assured that who has sent this data and if there is any problem to whom I need to contact. Okay. Now the question is, you have received first, second, and third from Raghu, first, second, third, and Swati. Duplicate record. So final data will be 1, 2, 3. This is clear? Guys, is it clear?
yes.
Now, shall I mark Raghu name here or Swati name here? Which name should I mark here? Tell me. Raghu or Swati?
Both.
Both. Okay. Perfect. Anyone else? What do you think? Whose name should be marked? Because I know this is a duplicate, but if I'm picking data from this, or I will pick data from this. So from which file I have to pick data? From Raghu's file or Swati file? Or you can tell Tanvir it is fine, no issues. You can pick from any file. That's not a concern. Which one, guys, you think? Come on, guys.
You can
Raghu
pick from
file?
anyone, any file.
Any file. Okay. You see, in this case, no, your trust will come into picture. Okay. Your trust will come into picture. Maybe you trust Raghu more, that okay, Raghu is an old player in this game, so he is having more experience, so he will give more accurate data. If there's a duplicate, I'm talking about exact duplicate, guys. Okay, I trust Swati as well, but here we are doing the comparison, right? Raghu and Swati, they both have sent the same data. I'm doing comparison. So I have made a rule that when there is an exact data from both the sources, both the managers, so I trust Raghu more. So I will pick the data from Raghu file. Got it? Is it clear?
Yeah, clear.
So in deduplication, you have to mention sources as well. Okay, so this is the logic of deduplication. Maybe if you rely more on Swati, then you can write S here. But the overall, what I want to mention here is you have to mention the source from which you are taking the data here. I think this is clear now.
Yeah, clear.
So this was the duplicate checks which we used to perform at the stage layer. Okay, and the deduplication is very famous. Okay, very famous. You will get questions, interviews. They will ask you, okay, tell me the deduplication logic. Okay. Basic functional checks. Any idea about this? What is this basic functional checks? Anyone? Come on. I have discussed this yesterday. Day before yesterday as well.
Nothing but add the trailer row count. That's all.
Header, trailer, no anything else, guys?
Source file duplication.
Those are file level validation.
Okay.
Those are file level validation. I'm talking functional checks. Functional checks, or this is also known as domain checks. And these are generally done by functional tester. You might have heard as job profile functional tester. But this is expected that you should also do this. You remember day before yesterday, I have mentioned you that if assume that profit column, the data is missing. Remember, guys? We discussed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told you that maybe it has been discussed with the business analyst that the profit column data is missing, then this record will be rejected, right?
Yeah. Yes.
This is known as functional checks. This is not technical, right? This is functional. Why? Because profit is an important column of any business. They want to see the profit. If the profit is not there, they will tell you that why they have sent me this data. This is of no use. I want to see profit. Then only I will understand how my business is performing, right? So if the source has sent you this file, and assume if this data is missing, maybe by mistake, they forgot to mention the profit. Does this data make any sense for you or for your business?
No.
No. And if you will load this in a stage layer, so it will move integration layer, it will move in access layer, then it will show on report. So on report, you will see that, oh, profit is missing, right? So business will call you that what kind of report you are showing, man? Profit is missing. What I will do with this report? Okay. So that's why you have applied this logic that if source has sent me this data and if the profit is missing, I'm just giving an example of profit. There can be n other things. Okay. Maybe they will tell that, okay, if cost is also missing or profit is there, cost is missing, then I also reject this record. So those records will be rejected. This is known as functional checks. You don't have to load this in a stage. I think I have mentioned this yesterday as well. So this record will be rejected and it will not be loaded in a stage table. Is it clear? So this is just one functional check which I have mentioned. There can be many other functional checks that depends from business to business. So these are few basic data cleaning activities which we used to perform at a stage layer. And please make a note of it. Very important. Okay. Fine. So last call. Any question on these 3 points? Anything which you want me to repeat? I'm ready. I will repeat it. No. Okay.
Tanvir, is there any other functional check? For example.
These are the very common checks. Okay, generic checks. Okay, but yeah, you have some other checks as well. Okay, I will tell you, but that depends on business. On in one of the project in which I have worked, I'm sharing you that. Okay, in one of the project in which I was working, so the requirement was, suppose you have received one more record. Okay, and some particular day, the profit was 10 rupees. Okay, so the business has told us a rule that if profit is less than 10 or equal to 10, no, so we are not interested in those numbers. They have mentioned this because their profit was in millions. Okay, millions and billions. So they have told that if the profit is in something like something dollars, okay, I cannot tell those numbers, guys. Okay, that's something confidential of project. So they told me that I don't want those numbers. So here the profit is 10 or less than 10. So they have told me that, okay, remove this data. This is not required. I'm not interested. So in that case, what we used to do is we will not load this data in a stage because it has been agreed with the business that if it is less than 10, they don't want this data. So no need to load this data in a staging layer. Okay. Or you can tell this is again one of the functional checks. So that depends from business to business. That is why I've taken a generic bucket of functional checks. Okay. Is this clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So if any that will come to my mind, I will share that as well. But like these are the 3 buckets. Okay. In functional checks, you can have many other as well. But deduplication is the important one, guys. Okay. Because one of my students, he has face this question in interview. That's why I shared with you. Fine. Now moving to the next one. In the staging area, the raw data undergoes data processing. Now, is this line clear or not? We are processing data in a staging layer as well. Many testers are under the impression that we're not doing anything in a stage, you're just dumping the data. Now, if someone will ask you that why you should not only dump, but you should clean the data as well. So now I think you have a good reason for that. You can explain them, right? That why you're doing some basic activities as well there. Okay. Here the data is transformed and consolidated for its intended analytical use case. This phase can involve the following tasks. I think I missed the task. Maybe it will come down the line. Okay. Next is filtering, cleansing, deduplication, validating, and authenticating the data. So these are the basic activities which you used to perform in and means transformation or the stage layer cleansing activity. Filtering means the one which I have told you now, that if the profit is less than 10, I'm not interested in those numbers, please remove it. So that is you are filtering the data, which is not of that much importance for you. Performing calculations, obviously this is clear. In transformation, you are performing calculations, you are performing translations, okay, or summarizations based on the raw data. This can include changing row and column headers for consistency, converting currencies or other units of measurement, editing, text tracing, and more. Yeah. So in transformation, many other things happens as well. Okay. Sometimes they want to see the consolidated data. Okay. Like here, I'm showing you the cost and profit of daily restaurant only, right? But maybe the user has told you that, okay, create a report where I want to see the total profit across all the restaurants in India, Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore. Tell me the total profit I have made. So what you have to do? You have to summarize it, correct? You have to aggregate it, fine. And sometime your business was performing very good in India. So you thought that, okay, let's start in US as well. Many Indians are there whose restaurants are running in UK, US, okay. Now you have opened a restaurant in US. So if you have opened a restaurant in US, your transactions will be in US dollar, right? So then you have to convert those US dollars in Indian currency, INR, correct, on a daily basis. So that conversion is again one of the important transformation logic. Hope this is clear. So that's what I have mentioned here, converting currencies. And this is like in most of the ETL project, in water projects I have worked, this was there. You have to convert currencies from one currency to another currency like that. Next is conducting audits to ensure data quality and compliance. Yeah, audits are also conducted to ensure the data quality and compliance is there or not. But generally these are conducted by some other teams. They will conduct audit in your project. They will check the data quality, okay, and all those things. And this happens some very super critical projects. They will have a separate audit team, and their team will come. They will check the data quality is correct or not, and they have some compliance rule as well. So you don't have to bother about this. But yeah, for data quality, they are separate data quality team. Your data stewards, which will come into picture. They will check the data quality, and if that looks good, they will give a sign off, and then the data will move to the reporting layer. In one of my project, it was there. Any question, guys, please? Are you understanding all these lectures, what I am telling?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Please ask me questions if you can't at any point of time, okay? But sometimes what happens, no, for me, it seems that, okay, this is a very, very common thing. Everybody knows, but maybe the audience doesn't know. It happens, right? So you should ask questions. Even if you think that seems silly, don't get shy, ask questions. Okay? I'm more than happy to answer your questions. Now, the next thing is removing, encrypting, or protecting data. Yeah, very important, very important, very important. You know, you are working in an organization, okay, and you are working in HR database. You have been assigned to work on HR database. Now, in HR database, you know that you have all the employee details, employees, the mobile number, their address, their date of birth, the percentage what they have scored, and most important, the salary structure, right? Do you want your mobile, your address, your percentage scored in various examinations and a salary structure to be revealed? Do you want this? Anyone who will like this?
No.
No,
Yeah.
it should mask.
Yeah, right. No one will like that. Okay. If someone knows my salary structure and organization, I would think that there is some data security issue in this organization, right? So in those cases, if I'm going to work on the HR database, so what they will do, they will mask the data or they will encrypt the data so that that should not be visible to others. That is known as data encrypting or data masking activity. And this is again a common interview question, that why you used to mask the data. Okay, so this is the reason, to not to show the confidential or personal information of any user to others. Because like in the business, suppose uh, you are working and means maybe like you have a bank account, right? And you will not like that all the employees of a particular bank, they have the access to see your bank account statement, how much balance you have, and all those things. Yeah, I do understand few of them will be having access, but you will not like that everyone should get access to that, right? No customer will like it. So that's what the business, they have to encrypt the data. Okay, right, I think some days back, 2 to 3 months back, I think I mentioned earlier as well, it happened like Microsoft Azure, the cloud, the Jupyter notebook database, it was hacked. Okay, there were a few researchers at this organization, they have hacked it and they have compromised the primary key. They got access to that and they were able to update and modify the data. And Coca-Cola was one of the company which data was compromised. Not compromised, they purposely they were doing it. Okay, and close to 500 companies data they got access. But finally they told to Microsoft, okay, that we got access to this, there is some vulnerability in the system, please check it. You'll Google it, no, you will get this news. Even on my LinkedIn page I have posted this. So that gives a bad remark. And I think 2 to 3 days before it happens in Amazon as well, there was an outage and system across the world was halted. Many gaming application was halted. Okay, so if you are exposing your customer data, okay, if you're exposing your customer data, that will give you a bad remark, your business will suffer. That's why every business, if you see, they will promise that, okay, we will protect your data. Your data will, so right now I think it's close to 6 months or 1 year back, there was something happened in WhatsApp as well, right? So they promise that, okay, your data will not be revealed, it will be confidential in our database, even our engineers don't get access to that. So we are working on end-to-end encryption. So why they're doing all those things? Because otherwise the business will get a bad name. So that's what encrypting, you have to encrypt the data, you have to protect the data. Okay, governed by industry or government regulations. Many government, they have some regulations. Okay, they will give some regulations that, okay, right now that RBI guidelines, they have implemented many guidelines regarding credit card, debit card, and all those things. So there are some government regulations as well. So data must be as per those law. And nowadays, no, in cloud, what's the challenge? The big challenge in cloud is, suppose I have rented a cloud system and that is hosted on US. That will be hosted on US database, right? Now, Indian government wants that all the data of the Indian citizens should be hosted in Indian server hosted in India. That's a big concern in cloud because you never know where your data is hosted. That is against government regulations. Especially in US, it is the same, that your data must be hosted in US servers. Okay. So this is all about this. But again, I think this is not of that much important for you, but you should know this. Okay, you should know this, should have some idea about this. Formatting the data into tables or join.
But Tanvir, who does this masking, like this encryption?
Okay.
The ETL tester or
Actually, this masking are done by two layers. The first is a source team. They will mask the data and they will send it to you. That's a one way. Other way is the source team will send you data as it is, but your ETL developers in the job, they have to apply those logics. The data must be masked. Okay, but generally the data are which are sent by the source team, they are masked. They will encrypt it and they will send it to you. Okay.
Okay, okay.
And it is not like maybe you will be asking that, okay, Tanvir, so the source team, if they're masking data, so they will be having the raw data, they will get the idea about that. So no, everything is happening through logic. So they will just insert the data and then the masking will apply automatically on top of that. So no one will get access to that. Okay, fine. Is that clear?
Yes, yes.
Okay, fine. Now formatting the data into tables or joint tables to match the schema of the tag data. So this is something from architect perspective. Okay. You might have heard about entity relationship diagrams, a very common concept in data warehouse database. So whenever, no, suppose an engineering college, okay, he approached me and they told me that, okay, Tanvir, I have to create my database for the engineering college. Okay, create a database for my college, which should give me the details of my different departments, the HODs, the employees, the students, the toppers, the different semesters, different subjects. And from those database, I should get information that, okay, how many instructors are there, how many lab technicians are there, who is the topper of a particular branch, how many gold medalists are there, how many has scored distinctions, how many have them have got placed, and all those things, right? So when he will approach me, so how I will start working on that. So first of all, I will ask them, okay, how many branches are there in your college? How many departments are there? Who are the HODs? How many students are there? What all subjects do you have? Right? All these questions I will ask. And then I will design it, right? Then the designing will start. So this is what this is stressing on the designing part. Okay, so the designing should be as per the data structure. Okay, so you have to understand the data, the grain of data, how much grain you want, and as per that you have to design your database or your table or your schema. So as an ideal tester, you should test all these things as well. The schema is correct or not, the table has been mapped to that schema or not, how many partitions are there, all these things. So this was very high level picture I have shown you that this happens in the different transformation. I think few of this will be new to you, but you should know, guys, that okay, these are the different worlds. You should not only strict that, okay, I received data in the source file, I run the job, data got loaded in the stage, I've done some basic transformation logic, data moved to integration, then I've checked in access layer and data shown on the report. That's all. Because you never know in which project you will be mapped, maybe in the same organization or other organizations. So you should know all these things. Okay. Any question on this slide? So this was a very generic slide which I was trying to cover. No question? Okay. This is data cleansing activity. I think already I have covered this. Okay. Deduplication. I think this is clear now. Missing mandatory column values. So missing mandatory column values is the one which I told you about, that profit column, that if the data in the profit column is missing, and that has to be agreed with the business. Okay. You have to discuss with them that what all columns are mandatory. Okay. Mandatory means data must be there. Okay. So if data is missing in those columns, that's a concern. You have to reject that record. So these things where you will do this activity, data cleansing activity, where you will do
Staging.
staging. So it means when data is moving from source to stage, this has to be performed. It means in a staging, there should not be any duplicate. It means in a staging, the columns which are mandatory, those must be having some data. Okay, fine. Missing business related values, just number of shares, price per share, buy or sell transaction. So this is totally I have mentioned from finance perspective because I have worked in finance domain actually throughout my career. So maybe if you're working in some hospitality domain or airlines domain, so you can correlate that. Okay. So the source team, they forgot to share to send this number of shares. So this is very important information. So if it is missing, so what I will do, I will accept the data or I will reject the data.
Reject.
I will reject it because that is very important business value, right? And data will not be loaded in a stage layer. So similarly, I mentioned some other information as well. Okay. Data threshold limit. What is this? Data threshold limit. What is this, guys? Who will tell me? Data threshold limit. What is this? Come on, think and tell me.
Is it the total number of data we are getting?
Almost correct. Almost correct. Very good.
Okay.
Little bit more. Very good. Perfect. Come on, guys. Who will tell me?
Maximum number of records.
Maximum number of records. Almost correct. Okay. Assume today's 14th February, 14th December, sorry. 14th December. Okay, suppose this is the source file I received on 14th December. Okay. If I'm loading the source file in a stage, how many records will be loaded in a stage?
2.
Only 2. So it's clear, this and this will be loaded in a stage, right? What about this records? What will happen to this?
It's incomplete.
It's incomplete, correct? So what will happen? It will load it in a stage or not?
No, it will not load it. It's not with the yes.
It will not be loaded in a stage. Why?
Because profit column data is missing.
Perfect. Because profit is a mandatory column
Column.
and data in this column is missing. That's why this will not be loaded in a stage. Okay. Now, number of records in source file. How many records you have received in source file, guys?
2.
No, in source file, how many records are there?
Source.
Total?
12.
11 records, right?
11 records, yeah.
Number of records source file was 11. Number of records loaded in a stage. How many records are loaded in a stage?
2 records.
2 records. Rejected records?
9.
9. Percentage of records loaded?
2 by 11.
%18 of records were loaded, right?
Yeah.
Percentage of records failed. Close to 82. Correct?
Yes.
Now think practically. Only 18% records were loaded. 82% records got failed. Now, you can understand the data quality which is sent by the source team. Is it good quality or bad quality?
Bad quality.
Very bad quality, right?
Yeah.
So you will approach the source team and you will tell them that this is the problem. This data which you have sent in source file. Only 2 records were successfully loaded in a stage because profit is a mandatory column that has been agreed. And for the remaining records, profit column data was missing. That's why it was rejected. But the number of rejection is very high. What to do? Source team will tell you that Tanvir, I cannot do anything. I have this data only. Sometimes it happens. Okay. Then what you will do, guys? Tell me, then what you will do? Come on, we have only 1 minute left.
I think in that case only the threshold limit came.
Correct, correct. Very good, very good. Then I will approach the business. I will tell them, let's see, source has sent this data, but its records are missing. Then business will tell you a formula. Okay. That if 10% of records are failing, Okay. Then you can load data. If it is more than 10, if the failed records are more than 10, don't load the data. Okay, so what threshold limit he has shared? What is that limit? 10%. Correct. So if the failed records are more than 10%, don't load the data. Discard the entire file, throw it back at the source team that I'm not going to load this because this is very bad quality of file you have sent me. More than 10% records are rejected. Okay, so this is known as threshold limit. So now in this case, what you will do? You will send this file back to the source team and you will tell them that here the number of records which are failed or rejected is at 2%, and we have an agreement with the business that if the more than 10% of records are getting rejected, don't load that file itself. Throw it back to the source team and they have to work on this and they will send you a fresh file again. So this is known as threshold limit or the boundary limit till where you can accept the data. If the rejected record is more than 10%, no, don't accept it. This 10% just I have taken example. This depends again from project to project. Some project will give you 20%, some will tell you 5%, some will tell you 1%. But whatever number it may be, the concept which you have to understand is threshold limit. What is threshold limit? Is this clear?
Sir,
Yeah,
sir, I
clear.
think is this check similar to the variance check only, sir?
Correct, correct. Very
Similar,
good. Good catch.
variance. We
Variance check.
discussed in starting.
Yeah. Very good. This is similar to the variance check. Correct. Just different name. Okay. But threshold and variance both are used. Any question on this, guys? Is it making sense? Are you understanding this?
Yes.
Okay. So this will happen if you start working, this things happens. Oh, so that's why you should take all these things from business in written. Okay.
Like I have a doubt.
Yeah. Proceed.
The profit column is mandatory, right? Like
Uh-huh.
by creating the tables, like they can apply what you say, keys on that, right?
Right.
So in that case, like they can't miss the values of profit.
They cannot miss the value profit. You are talking from source team perspective, right?
Huh.
Correct. Good. So you are telling that Tanvir, profit is a mandatory column. So source team can implement this logic at their end, right? And they can apply this using that SQL, that they can apply this check that this is a mandatory.
While creating the table.
While creating the table. So if this will happen, they will catch it. Correct. I think this is what you're telling, no?
Yeah.
Good. So source team can do this, but you never know what source team are doing. Maybe if they would have not done this, so you cannot do anything, right? But you are giving a solution that source team should do this, but we cannot tell this to source team. Source team is a different team, so it's their wish what they want to do or what they don't want to do. Okay.
They are not the technical one, right?
Maybe sometime you are correct. Sometime it happens they're not technical one, but we don't have any control on the source team. They are different team. But you are correct that we have a solution. They can implement this logic and that can be solved. Okay. But if they are sending this, they're not ready to apply this or whatever it may be, we cannot do anything. Okay. Is that fine?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So this was at a threshold limit. Now, manner adjustment is one of the techniques used by business users as part of data cleansing activities, but manner adjustment is not limited to data cleansing activity only. Manner adjustment. What is this manner adjustment? I think I have discussed this. Who will tell me? I have discussed manner adjustment. What is this?
Updating the data manually sometime.
I think yesterday I have discussed this. Someone, Manikanta, has asked a question, and then I started a session with that only.
Yeah, modification. We need to intentionally we are changing the data in files and loading the data into this.
Yeah. Suppose, take example of this file. Source team has sent this data, profit is 500. And suppose here as well data is there. Let me make new data file here. Source team has sent me this data. Okay. All these records will be loaded or not?
Yes.
Okay, it is loaded. But source team, they realize that by mistake, by mistake, they have mentioned 10 here, but they should be actually 510. They should be actually 510. So what they will do?
We manually enter.
Right? They will send another file and they will change it manually, right? And then they will send it to you. So that is, they are doing something manually in the source file and they will send it to you. So that is known as manual adjustment. You're doing manual adjustment, right? Sometime what happens? Okay, I will take that part from finance term later on. So this is known as manual adjustment. That's what I mentioned here. Manual adjustment is one of the techniques used by business users as a part of data cleansing activities. Oh, I have mentioned from business users perspective now. So guys, I will take this later point of time, because from this I will cover when I will start reporting, report testing, because manual adjustment is done by source team as well and business users as well. I will tell you very high level what happens here. You have created a report. Business teams, they're looking at the report and they found that the number is not correct. Then they realize that, okay, this number is not correct because they have missed the data of particular location. And they realize that this is the mistake from our end, from their end. Sometimes it happens. It's a mistake at their end. They have not told some particular business use case to us. So manually, they will modify that particular data. Okay, it happens like that. That is known as manual adjustment from business users. So when I will come to report testing, I'll cover this. Okay. So I think we are well ahead of time today. So let's just stop here. Any question, guys, please ask me. Today's was very important concepts from interview perspective. This logics, this checks. Okay. And I have told something like very common misconceptions what we have, that transformation doesn't happen at the staging layer, but I have shown you that yeah, it happened at the staging layer. And what is the need to do this at a staging layer? What are the different basic data cleaning activity you have to do in the staging layer? And you should realize it. Don't assume that okay, Tanvir is telling, then okay, it's fine. No, you should realize from, apply your common sense and think that okay, yeah, this should be there. If it is not there, this will happen. And you should challenge as well. Okay, any question, guys?
Tanvir, I have a question. I'm not sure like it's a valid one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So suppose as we said, like we have a business similar to a chain of restaurants, we are having a values posting on a daily basis. And suppose this job is running automatically to move the data from source to staging. So in the weekend, so do it happen it on automatically, or if or it need to be done, we will be stopping on the weekends and we'll be starting the work only on Monday to do a test on that.
Okay, good question. It's 8 now. Those who want to drop, you can drop. Otherwise, I will continue with the answer for this question. Okay. So Vaidyanathan, what happens in production, or generally all your jobs are set to run automatically? Okay, first of all your jobs, whether it is a stage load, integration load, access load, or whatever it may be, you don't have to do it manually. Everything will be done automatically. It will trigger at a particular time automatically. You don't have to do anything. But if someone is asking, can I trigger it manually? Yes, you can trigger it manually as well. But you do know that on a daily basis, it is not possible that someone will trigger it manually, right? So everything will be done automatically. You have a control M scheduler in which you will just map all these jobs. You will mention a time. So, and you will mention a hierarchy. You will mention a dependency. So at that particular time, the jobs will start running. Okay, there's different concept altogether in that. But just a high level, I'm telling you, you have a control M scheduler. Okay, I will show you that as well. That's in this slide. So through that, all the jobs will run automatically. Okay, the one thing. Apart from control M, you have Redwood as well. Okay, through that as well. That's the scheduler. It will run all the jobs. And you don't have to do anything manually. First of all, make it clear. But if you want to do it manually, you can then do that as well. But in control M, you can do everything. So this is the slide in control M. You can schedule the time, date when you want to run. And this is the control M jobs which you want to run. Okay, I will cover this, then I will show you. You can see multiple jobs are there. This is one job. This is another job. If it is green means it is passed. If it is red means it is failed. Okay, if it is yellow means it's in progress. If it's gray means this is waiting for some other resource, whatever it may be. Okay, and this multiple lines you can see, gray lines. These are the dependencies. Dependencies means if once this job will pass, then only it will run. So like that. Okay, but this is something scheduler. It will schedule all the jobs. So all your jobs will run on an automatic basis. First of all, second question: what about Saturdays and Sunday? Okay, there are multiple scenarios in Saturday and Sunday. If your business is telling that I don't want the data of Saturday and Sunday, so your job will not run on Saturday and Sunday. You can see I mentioned you have Monday, Tuesday. You can set here. So job will not run on Saturday and Sunday. Automatically job will start running on Monday, then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like that. Okay. But now the requirement is that no, I want data of Saturday and Sunday as well. Okay. So your job should run on Saturday and Sunday as well. Then you can trigger your job for all the days. Third scenario, that no, Saturday and Sunday my business is not running. We have holiday. But I want data on Saturday and Sunday as well. Then I will ask a question that your business is not running on Saturday and Sunday. So how I can load data? Then they will tell me that data of previous day, just copy it, copy forward. Friday data, move it to Saturday and Sunday. Okay. So in that case, I have to run job on all the days, but just the data of Friday will be copied on Saturday and Sunday. And everything will be triggered automatically. You don't have to do nothing manually. Okay, and this you can do with the scheduler. So this is one control M scheduler I have shown you. Then you have Redwood as well. So these are the jobs, that is the dependencies and all these things. Have I answered your question?
Yeah, certainly. But if there is going to be a new data sent across on weekends also, and if it's going to be in a holiday, then in order to do a testing, so will it be whether we will be deploying any persons on the weekends also to do that? I'm just curious to know that, like how it happens. Like,
no, this will be like, this will be well agreed before. It is not like on a random basis they will send you some file and they will tell you to load this data. No, it doesn't happen. Very rare scenario. If it will happen on a random basis, they will send you a file. It happens at a very rare when you have some ad hoc file. Okay, when the source will tell you that okay, after 6 months we will send you this ad hoc file. So in that case, obviously you have to manually trigger it. Okay, that's a very exceptional scenario. But the generic scenario, these all things will be well agreed that okay, the job will run from Monday to Friday, or the job will run from Monday to Saturday or Sunday, like that. It will be well agreed. But if you have ad hoc file sometime or a static file sometime, so in that case, you have to set someone to run that job, trigger it manually. Okay, but that's a very rare scenario, guys. Again, I'm repeating. But generally, what will happen is all things are scheduled to run automatically. Is this the question which you have asked? Have I answered?
yeah, yes, thank you.
Okay, fine. Okay, any other question? Okay, if no question, so let's wind up today. Let's connect to tomorrow again at the same time. Please come up with some good questions. Good question or bad question, whatever. Questions are questions only. Okay. Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.